All right, this is the watch list video for December 28th, Monday. Hope everybody had a fantastic Christmas, and it should be a little bit more volume than the few days before Christmas, I would think. Although, keep in mind the market's going to be closed again this Friday for New Year's Day, and then we can get back to a little bit better volume in the market. Check a calendar here. I think it's January 4th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Monday, January 4th. Hopefully, we'll get a little bit more volume back in the market. Been a fantastic year, and looking forward to hopefully even better year coming up. All right. If you want to freeze the video and just read that little explanation there, and I'll pull it out of the way. It just basically tells you that I'm looking for stocks that could give me a move tomorrow. Okay, I'm in cash every night, so these are not long-term trade ideas. All right, I'm looking for things that might make me some money tomorrow. So let's start with Lumber Liquidators LL. Nice little trend line here. Big volume on this spike, and gapped up again, came down. I was actually calling it as a bounce play when it looked like this. And if I was a swing trader and I caught it on bounce day that I called it, I would still be in some, but I'm not. But it might, let's see, Friday's not the right day. Friday was Christmas. So Thursday's high was 1845. So if you get through that, then you've got the high from about a week before, a little bit more than a week before, of 1887. That's after that gap up. So this one, could squeeze. The first catalyst would be over 1845, knowing that the next catalyst is 1888, and then maybe it just really rips. So it's a good setup, all right? Triple D, 3D printing company, DDD, has been holding up really well. Gapped up here, and it's really holding nicely above 10. You can't really go by this little kind of a failed breakout, maybe Wednesday and Thursday, because you see little peaks above the recent highs, and it came back in because it was just, you can see there's just no volume those 2 days. So, keep this one on watch. I expect one of these days this thing might rip higher. So it should be on a chart if you're a day trader. PSDV, after the gap up day, then it sold off most of the day, gapped up a little the next day, ran and then sold off, and then another day lower, which took out the lows of the day it did gap up. It's a weird looking chart, but they did have good news for the gap up day, and so now you've got 3 red candles in a row. Sellers really aren't doing a great job of filling this gap here, so one of these days might surprise us with a nice bounce. So I want to have that one on a chart. Remember, it doesn't cost me anything to have a symbol on a chart somewhere. GENE gets really nice spikes at times, especially back here, right? But even here, and then here, and then it gapped up the other day, which caught my attention, and now it's 3 days lower and a nice green candle on Thursday. Thursday's high was 284. So if you want to put a number in your notes, 285. A break of Thursday's high might just get this thing going. Wednesday's high was also 284. So 285 would be a break of the last couple days worth of trading, and might just make a quick move to 3. And if it gets through 3, maybe visit recent highs. By recent highs, I mean from highs from the gap up, which is also the 200-day around 320. So, there's a good potential there. And NTWK, I always try to stick with stocks that have had recent high relative volume. NTWK had good news last week. Looked like it was just going to come down and fill the gap, and it's right back up. So the day after the gap up, it hit 840. It also hit 840 on Thursday, so up over that area. This one, maybe it starts to really gain some upside momentum again. And then lastly, and this one's really not getting much volume, but again, it's a holiday week. This CAPN, it does spike big time at times, right? So back here, again here, lower high, lower high, lower high, and another lower high. So you've got really coiled stock here and pretty decent support below. So I really like this one over this little wedge pattern right here. It might just come up and take out this high of 260, and then maybe make a quick move to 3. It's a really low float stock. So if you look back here, in one day it went from $1.64 to $4.04. So I try to look for what a stock can do, right? A lot of that is based on recent news, and couple that with the float. So this is a pretty good setup here. So I like CAPN, especially over 220, over this little wedge pattern here. All right. I'm certain we'll find some gappers to play on Monday morning as well, but that's the list I'm going to start with. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see everybody on Monday.